John Bell's the Chief Technology Officer for HII Mission Technologies. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me. What's on the landscape right now, or maybe over the horizon, that people in the services should be thinking about today that you're really excited about, John?
Well, I have to say, the most compelling thing that has really caught everybody's attention that we've been watching for some time is the evolution of autonomous and unmanned systems, particularly in the way that we're able to use autonomous systems for manned-unmanned teaming. So we've always had this idea of, drones going out and taking pictures. But now that we are really evolving into unmanned systems across all the domains, not just air, but also surface and subsurface, the ability of those systems to augment the manned systems and to do the dirty jobs that nobody really wants us to have to do with people in the loop, or to do the repetitive jobs that allow us to use our manned forces so much more effectively. And the evolution of artificial intelligence to supplement those capabilities, of course, is transformational. It has created a new foundation for all of the technologies that we deploy for the warfighter. And it really, again, is augmenting the human in the loop. And so now we can have a human on the loop, monitoring and watching what's going on, providing more of a commander's intent to an autonomous system that then has a certain degree of freedom to operate as needed to achieve the objectives of the commander and support the mission.
I'm struck by the conversation, the evolution of the conversation around autonomy in exactly the way that you just described, because we've gone very quickly from a discussion about autonomy and what role does it play to how do we integrate autonomous vehicles into the fleet, the inventory, and how do we use them most effectively in the kind of environment that you just described. From an industry perspective, how do you think about that and try to lay the groundwork for helping the services solve problems?
So that's, I think, the integration is really the key point, and it's something that I've really been pushing from my perspective as CTO for HII, that as we are moving towards an acquisition environment where we want to buy things off the shelf and really make much more effective use of commercial capabilities, uh, that leads to a challenge with integration because we're now buying products that really weren't designed from the ground up to be integrated either with other products or with our manned forces. In many cases, because they were commercial, they weren't even designed for Department of War applications. So in Department of War, over the years, we've recognized we have a huge integration challenge, even with systems that were bespoke, exquisite systems built for the Department of War. So as we bring in these commercial products, we have an even bigger problem with integration. It's a real challenge. So the answer to that is multi-level. One of the most basic foundational things that we here at HII promote is modular open systems architecture. And that's a big word, but what do we really mean? We mean break the system down into pieces, and then for each piece, have an open definition of how that piece has to interoperate with all the other pieces. Yes, you can still have your secret sauce inside your particular sensor or piece of the system, um, but the way you interoperate with the other components of the system, that should be public, openly available to the other pieces of the system so that we can interoperate effectively. Another big area, though, that we're seeing evolve for integration and interoperability is the use of artificial intelligence, and particularly agentic AI, where we can have AI robots effectively that work on our behalf. And because they're AI based, they have access to so much information about the systems that need to interoperate. So now instead of having to hire a whole team of people to go delve through a lot of technical documentation and write software to make this system talk to that system, we can simply deploy an AI agent who already knows what those interface specs are and can almost on the fly build that interface and do that interoperability communication on behalf of the human without having to build a large, complex interoperability solution.
The dialogue around AI is, especially in the department, is very robust. and very deep. So I'll let that for other folks to discuss, but I want to go back to MOSA in the time that we have left. For a long time, my perception as an outsider was that MOSA proponents in the building and in the industry were kind of pushing the rock uphill. And now that's changed. What helped you guys get the rock to the top of the hill to now come down the other side with such momentum as it has today?
I think it's been one of those things that took a long time to get started, but with the demonstrable success of MOSA, people look at it and say, oh, okay, not only do I see that it can actually work the way it's intended, it also doesn't really hurt us. Within industry, there, of course, has always been a certain degree of reluctance to embrace MOSA because of that secret sauce. We don't want to give away all those special capabilities that we've developed ourselves, and frankly, we'd be crazy to share it with other people, but to share how it interoperates and how it interfaces. So as an example, one of the products that we are developing is the Enduring High Energy Laser for the Army. And one of the reasons we've been successful with that product is we went into it from day one with an open systems architecture approach. And we said, hey, we will connect with all the different vendors who develop all the components of this laser system, and we will share those interface specs with the government and with those vendors. And that gives us a lot more flexibility in selecting vendors and making vendors be competitive with each other, and allowing us to put together a system that really works to achieve the mission without it having to be our own containerized solution that nobody else can get into.
John, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.